Hey everybody, welcome back to BigRedEDC and welcome to this edition of JB on EDC. I have to give a quick shout out to our good friend Rusty Knife Lover for suggesting this topic. The topic we're going to be talking about today is EDC and traveling. You know, what can you do as far as EDC goes when you travel? Well, obviously, if you're driving somewhere, say I'm going down to Oregon to see Zach and hang out for the couple of days or whatever, you can pretty much, you're driving, so you can pretty much carry whatever you want. One thing I do suggest you do before you travel anywhere, no matter what mode of travel you're taking, is research the local knife laws. Sometimes state, sometimes city ordinances are more restrictive than your state laws, so doesn't hurt to take a look, because I don't know for sure, I've never researched it, but I'm pretty sure you could carry a few things in Dallas, Texas that you could not carry in New York City. So and even between here and Oregon, laws are different. You're not allowed to carry. It's against the law to carry an auto here in Washington. That's not the case in Oregon. So could I carry it from here to Oregon? Well, but it doesn't hurt, guys. It doesn't hurt. Like, a lot of places have a 3-inch blade limit. Some places have no, you could carry a machete if you wanted to. Doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt just to check in on the local knife laws wherever you're going. Okay? I guess the big aspect would be, I get a lot of questions sometimes, and Rusty, again, thank you for suggesting this one. Traveling and EDC. Well, anytime I go anywhere, blade shows, whatever the case may be, I'm traveling with knives. I'm going to a blade show. I always carry a knife. So how do I do it? Well, obviously you're not going to be able to carry it on the plane with you. And the truth of the matter is you can carry anything onto a plane. You could travel with anything on a plane as long as it's in your checked luggage. You could do fixed blade. You could do something, like this, and a spada, whatever. You can fly with a firearm if it's secured properly, if you take all the proper measures. All you have to do is put this stuff in your checked baggage. That is it. It's very simple. Now, the thing I kind of do when I fly, and I do carry stuff in my bag, is, I have a apnea machine that I take with me, and I have a special pillow as well to kind of help control the apnea. So very rarely am I ever traveling with just like a carry-on bag. I just put everything in a suitcase, I check it, and that way I can travel with my pocket knives or whatever, and there's just no problem whatsoever, even if it's only for a couple of days. Absolutely 100%. That's what I do. But what I will do is, in said apnea machine, there's a reason I brought that up, is it comes in this little pouch, right? And it kind of sits in there. I have my little, I didn't bring it up here with me, but my little A1 mini travel pouch, my little EDC pouch that I always carry. You've seen it in a couple of videos already. Everything that I carry in that will get tucked in to the little carrying case for my apnea machine. I put it on the bottom. It's got two little compartments. It's got a compartment for the machine and a compartment for the cord and hose. I'll put my EDC pouch on the bottom, stack up my apnea cord and on top of it and everything, just kind of so it's not visible. Am I hiding it from anybody? Yes and no. I'm not hiding it for any legal type reasons whatsoever. I'm hiding it just so it doesn't accidentally get lost. TSA agents will randomly inspect your bags. Kind of like customs agents going across when I send stuff. I luckily have never had anything go missing. I have heard of people have things go missing. And they said it was inspected by TSA. I have not. You know, especially, you know, like coming home from a blade show or something like that. I've got a lot of stuff that I just can't tuck away. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I mean, I buy a knife or two at a blade show, right? I got a whole bunch of swag, all the stuff I took with me. Not the easiest to, you know, find ways, but you can find ways. You can find ways. If you got an extra pair of shoes, tuck something in your shoe, you know. Will they look? I don't know. They might not, but at least it's not super, super visible. Stick something in a pocket of your pants, something like that, you know. Roll it up in your socks, you know. Take something like this, lay out your socks, roll the socks up over it, fold the sock over. You got a nice little sock ball with your little Rough Rider Reserve in the middle of it. You know, there's ways you can do that. There's ways of just tucking stuff away. We'll call it, it's the way of keeping honest people honest. It's kind of like putting a padlock on a locker. If somebody wants in it, they're gonna get in it. You know, it's just the way it is. But, you know, there's little ways that you can just kind of keep stuff out of sight. It's not a big deal. And yeah, that's what I do. That's how I fly. Now, you're saying, well, hey, JB, I don't have the apnea machine, the pillow, all that stuff. I just want to take my little duffel bag for my little 3-day trip and do it. Understandable. Well, just understand you're not going to be able to carry anything onto that plane. I don't believe restrictions have really, I mean, last time I knew, and this is fairly recent, I mean, they're still taking fingernail clippers away from people. So, you know, scissors out of sewing kits. I've heard of that recently. So, you know, what can you do in that case? But you just want to have a knife. My suggestion, and obviously you don't have to take this advice, but it's really simple. It's really easy. Anywhere you're probably going, unless you're way out in the boondocks somewhere, but if you're flying somewhere, typically you're going to find a store. If it's big enough, it might have a Walmart or something like that. If you just want to have a knife for 2 or 3 days, go to Walmart. Buy an Ozark Trail. I mean, they got that new $10 Ozark Trail, you know, the bug out looking one, you know, with the Axis style lock. Go buy that. Spend $10. Is it the best knife in the world? Absolutely not. But it's a cheap knife. You'll be able to have a blade on you. It's more than likely going to have a fairly decent edge. And you know what? If you're concerned about the edge on it, go buy you one of those, what's Walmart brand? UST? You know, the little pull-through sharpeners? No, I would never use a pull-through sharpener on any of my EDC knives. But if you're concerned about it, you can get a knife. You can get a little pull-through sharpener, probably combo, definitely less than $20, probably less than $15. And you're going to have a knife. You're going to have a knife that's going to have a decent edge on it with that pull-through sharpener. And you know what? When you leave, give it to somebody that's there. Dump it in the trash if you have to. But give it to somebody, you know? I mean, if you got a buddy say, hey, this ain't a great knife, but here you go. You know? It's not a great sharpener. Here you go. It's a way for you to travel, do your quick travel with your carry-on, and just not have to worry about it. You know, go to a Sportsman's Warehouse or, you know, a Cabela's, if there's one nearby, and buy yourself just a cheap knife. You're going to be there for 3 days, 2 days. You know, you don't need to go buy a Chris Reeves knife for 3 days. You don't need it. You don't need it. Now, you know, if you're going somewhere and you're going on like a fishing trip or a hunting trip or something like that, you know, and you're going to be staying with somebody, you can always mail it ahead. You know, just mail some stuff to them and then mail it back to yourself. You can always do that as well. Or leave them some money or whatever and have them mail it back to you. There's really, really simple fixes about traveling and your EDC. Let's see. I think that pretty much covers it. You know, flashlights. I always have that little I1R2 When I travel, that's always on my keychain, and my keys are always in my bag, so I always carry that on with me. So I'd always have a flashlight. You could put a little flashlight in your bag. That's really not a big deal. So you could have a flashlight. I mean, Hanks, you can carry Hanks with you wherever. I get the biggest concern would be something with a sharp edge, like a knife. And like I said, mail it ahead if you really want to. If you really want to have one of your good knives with you, mail it ahead. But if you're going somewhere quick and for 2 or 3 days and you really don't want to mail anything, like I said, go to a local hardware store and buy a cheapo pocket knife. You're going to be there for 2 or 3 days. It doesn't have to be anything super whamadine, doesn't have to be anything super fancy, but you'll at least have a knife on you for the 2 days you're visiting or whatever you may be doing. Now, a quick note on that, and it's not necessarily traveling, but if you're going to local events, watch out for that as well. If you're going to a sporting event or anything like that, stuff like that is a definite no-go. Recently, very recently, Nell and I went to a baseball game, a local AAA club baseball club here in Tacoma. We went to a baseball game a couple weeks ago. I totally forgot to take the knife out of my pocket. And we had parked, a ways away, and we had already walked up to, and we were getting ready to go through the metal detectors, and I'm like, I'm taking it, and I thought I was really diligent about it, but I wasn't. So I'm like, okay, oh shoot. So what I do, I put it in Nellie's purse. And you know what? I went through the metal detector. She comes through the metal detector after me, and she had her regular purse, and the guy said, oh, this purse is too big to bring in here. But, and he kind of looked in, and he saw a bottle of medicine in her purse, and he's like, oh, it's a medical bag. And he let her through. Didn't even look in. And I did have a Finch on me, so I would have been down a Finch knife at that point in time. So those are definitely things you guys need to check. If you're going to any sort of sporting event or anything like that, guys, ladies, make sure you don't have your knives and stuff on you. And ladies, you might want to check the bag requirements for the venue you're going to as well. Just a little thought. I'm sure you probably do. And another quick story like that, didn't even think about it. Did not even think about it. When Nellie and I and our oldest son and his wife were in Las Vegas a while back. We'll just say that. More than 1 month, less than 3 years ago. But we were down there and we were going to go on the giant Ferris wheel, right? And didn't even think about it. My son and I both had pocket knives in our pockets. And we're like, oh crap. So we go back out. We're like, what are we going to do? I don't want to lose this knife. He didn't want to lose his knife. It was a present. It was a Christmas present from me. He's like, what do we do, Dad? He's like, I really don't want to lose this knife. And I was like, so we were standing out front and there were planters out front. And I was like, I have an idea. Come lean up against this planter with me. So we kind of leaned up with our backs. The planter was about butt height. And I kind of reached down and there was a ledge. There was dirt, about this far below the ledge, and there was a recessed ledge about that far. I was like, take your knife out of your pocket and stick it up underneath that ledge. That's what I'm going to do. He's like, all right, good idea. So we did. We go to the Ferris wheel. We go on our ride or whatever, come back off, go back to the planter. Knives are still there. Check, guys. Check. It's important. It's important, especially if you don't want to lose a really nice knife. So I think that pretty much covers, how I travel with knives, some ideas for you to travel with knives. If you have any further questions about it, please put them down in the comments. I will answer them the best I can. But yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying this series. I'm having a lot of fun doing it. I'm sorry I made you pretty much look at my ugly face the whole time without a whole lot of knives in it, but we'll show some. But yeah, you know, that was kind of the topic. Didn't really warrant seeing a lot of stuff. But yeah, any further questions, put them down in the comments, guys. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate the awesome selection. Shout out to our good buddy Rusty Knife Lover for suggesting this one, Traveling with EDC. It's a very, very good topic. So I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, rest of your week. And I will talk to you later, guys. Remember, like, subscribe, leave me that comment. You know I love talking to you. Until next time, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.